Guys, I had a game developer call me out on my own Steam community hub. A few months ago, I released my first game onto Steam. It's called Transients. It was a stealth action tactical FPS inspired by a lot of the games I enjoyed growing up. I put a team together. We worked on this game for 3 years and we put it out to you guys for 20 bucks. And as with everything I do in this space, it was very much a polarizing experience. A lot of people enjoyed the game. We had people speed running the game. We built an entire community around it. And there was a lot of people that also hated it. There was a lot of people that flooded and rushed to the game to leave both positive and negative reviews. And the game is currently sitting at mixed to mostly positive based on the reviews. And that has left a few game devs a little pissed off. The dev in today's video has been talking shit on the community hub for the better part of 4 months. Pretty much since the game launched, they have been replying to people. They have been taking jabs at me. And today, we're going to talk about it. The topic of today's video is a developer called Tiny Leviathan. These guys made Xfill. This is a tactical FPS that released in 2024 that I actually made 2 videos on back then, saying things like this. And the game is, by all intents and purposes, like, it's early. I was assuming this was like a pre-alpha, almost a tech demo. There's, assets everywhere. The gun sounds are trash. The gameplay isn't really that fun, but I was a fan of the actual premise. I thought the idea of 4 teams jumping in, minimal HUD, minimal information, and just kind of going at it in a large, battle area, I thought that was pretty cool. There are some problems that I foresee with that, but the premise I was actually kind of starting to fall in love with. In my opinion, I thought I was very fair with my coverage of the game. There were a lot of things in the concepts that I actually enjoyed on paper, but the game I felt was just too early to go to early access. And I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you can look at the reviews and you can look at the player numbers and you can see that clearly I was right. And it's not one of those things like, I was right. It's just, you talk about the things that you see leading up to an early access launch. You see that the game is built around this idea of needing players to be in the game. It's a PvP only experience, but it was a game that I felt launched way too early, didn't deliver on really anything. Their gunplay was not great. Their sound design was not great. Their level design, there was nothing jumping out at me to go like, man, this game is fucking incredible. Now, at the time, there was a ton of YouTube coverage for this game of people glazing the fuck out of Xfill. And it's okay if people have difference of opinions. I'm one of those people who, like, I'm going to look at a game, I'm going to give you my honest opinions, and we're going to leave it at that. These guys originally had Microprose as their publisher as well, so there was at least a little bit of a budget behind it, and I just felt like it wasn't delivering. Well, that apparently pissed this guy off enough to have him be in my community hub for the last 4 months talking shit. This person says, I'm actually not at all against Fry's success, but he has done so much damage in the indie scene, there is no remorse left in me when hubris comes calling. I've apparently done so much damage in the indie space by doing what? By calling out this? Oh! Holy fuck! Holy fuck. The AI don't even function. Wait, can they even get to me? Like, what the fuck is this? I'm genuinely confused on where this, I've done so much damage to the indie scene. Yeah, I call out shit like this. Hello. Hi, here. Hello. Yeah, I'm here to kill you. Yeah. I'm gonna walk around the front door and kill you both, all right? The frame rate is so bad. or I call out bullshit like that. What is this? And maybe I'm a little bit hard-handed when it comes to some of these games because they have smaller budgets, or they have a small dev team, or they have this or they have that, or they might be a new developer who's new to the space releasing their first game. I'm a first-time developer with Transients, so maybe I should be a little nicer. Okay. Well, the guy who made Xfill and the guy who owns Tiny Leviathan is Iron Taxi, who, if you guys don't know who that is, He's one of the original creators of Squad. He's been a dev in the space for over a decade. Xfill, which is the game that this guy made, is a piece of shit. I'm sorry. It is. Because not only did you have Micropros at the helm providing both marketing and, I'm guessing, some sort of budget to build this fucking game, you built a game requiring PvP players to be on the server at all times. You have nobody playing the game, and that's not because of a video that I made. That's not because I made a video telling people that maybe I think the game is launching a little bit too early. That's not because I made a video saying that, man, maybe some of your mechanics need to be a little bit more fleshed out, and I'm kind of sick and tired of developers making those same kind of mistakes. It's not because of one fucking YouTuber that your game's success isn't as high as you wanted it to be. And I'm so over the scapegoating. When we put Transients out, I put a video out 24 hours after the launch talking about the good and the bad. I talked about the criticisms, I talked about the reviews, and we were just open and honest about it. 2 weeks after launch, I did a follow-up telling you guys exactly what we did to make those changes, and now the game was trending at mostly positive. It was going up in reviews, and we were just open and honest about it, and I'm really sick and tired of developers not being open and honest and just understanding what the fuck your game's problem is. Clearly, there's something not connecting with the consumer. When you play it for 10 minutes and most people understood that this game just wasn't up to snuff. And the thing is that's okay. The point of my videos on a game like Xfill back in the day was that I felt they were launching too early and there wasn't enough meat on the bone for people to really get engaged, and then it's going to be an uphill climb for them to climb out of that hole, because you only have one shot when you go to Steam. Whether it's early access or whether it's a full launch, it is incredibly tough to get people to not look at player numbers. And guess what the fuck you're dealing with right now? You know, it's crazy. I feel bad. The lead developer, they were hacked on Discord in a very similar fashion to the way I was last weekend. And guess what? While they're being hacked, they're still commenting on our fucking community hub. Get off my dick. Look, you guys called this too leading up to the launch of my game. You guys said there were game developers that were waiting in the fucking rafters to talk shit. To sit here and say that I have done so much damage in the indie scene when I have made videos like this and this and this and this and this and this promoting the next best indie games. I cover games that I'm excited about. I cover games that I'm not excited about, and I tell you guys how I feel about it. And guess what? I am a one fucking person. One of the most controversial videos on my channel that caused a lot of people to shit on me for my opinions on the game launching too early was this game right here, the Forever Winter. I made a video saying that I didn't think the game was in a good enough state. I put that video out, and my God, I ate so much shit. My comments were roasting me. I had YouTubers making videos and responses saying that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. If I truly do damage in the indie space, that means that this game shouldn't have been successful. But it was. Everybody for the first few months was saying that this game is the best fucking game ever, and how wrong I was. A year and a half later, the game is still in early access. The general sentiment for the game is fucking nosediving. It's sitting at 53% positive. People are getting more and more pissed off with the lack of actual fixing of bugs that are persistent in the game since I made the videos. You go to their Steam community hub and people are fucking raging about the lack of actual fixes. People uncovered that these guys actually took VC investments, which means the budget for this game is actually a lot higher than that indie, grassroots movement that everybody thought. One of the top threads in this community hub is BigFry said don't buy it, and I should have listened. The game you guys are seeing on screen here is my video from like 3 years ago covering Dead Matter. Do you guys remember Dead Matter? I still get comments to this day of people pissed off that I hyped up Dead Matter. Huh? Yeah, that face right there. I covered Dead Matter for years, being excited, watching the devlogs, covering all the updates, talking about how I can't wait for this game to come to life. And then when it did, it sucked. And I told people that. When you're a YouTuber, it's like you can't win either way. If you're excited for something, you're a shill, you're a hype man, you're ignoring the red flags. When you cover something negatively, you're a fucking negative cunt. You do damage to the indie space. All you do is fucking talk shit. You can't win. And it's one of those things where based on whoever you're talking to, their perspective of you might be completely different. And I guess that's just human nature, but then it's amplified when we're on the internet because it's so easy for people to communicate their perspectives of you to you. Somebody might leave a comment saying that I'm fucking hilarious and they love the videos and they love the content. The next person might say that I'm a fucking asshole, and it's just bullshit. It's just all bullshit. If you're a developer and you have a problem with that, I don't give a flying fuck. He goes on to say, when you can't take time to talk to the humans involved in making something and giving them a supporting voice, I have an entire podcast that is dedicated to talking about games, gaming news, and interviewing developers. He says, even in a state of ignorance for how games are made, he keeps going on this tangent as if I wasn't hands-on in the engine every single day for years on end. Was I coding in C++? No. I was setting up trigger boxes. I was setting up encounters. I was playtesting. I was literally building levels with the modular assets we had. Guys, I don't know if you understand. I was working in engine for like 20 hours a day. I would go to sleep for 6 and then pull a 30-hour session. Go to sleep for 6, 20 hours. Sleep for 6, 31 hours. Like, I lost November leading up to that launch to make sure that everything was as good as it possibly could be. There's this notion that I just paid people to work on transients, and that notion is from dumb motherfuckers who probably have never made anything in their fucking lives, or from game developers and people online that are pissed off that I stepped into the space. I attempted to complete a side quest, and we did it without publisher backing. We did it without spending millions of dollars in marketing. We did it while learning and actually building out a fucking team and a framework that we can then use for future projects. And we did it all without asking you guys for a fucking dime outside of, jumping in and buying the game at launch. We didn't sit in early access for 6 fucking years. Yes, the game wasn't perfect. Yes, we made mistakes along the way, like I'm sure every developer does. What I don't understand is you worked on Squad. You were one of the original developers in Project Reality. You made Xfill. You're successful. What's wrong? For as much as I get called toxic and I've done damage and I'm such a fucking plague on the indie space or whatever, you don't see me ever going into community hubs to talk shit about games. You will see me put out a video and that's it. What's even more interesting is when things change for the better, I make updates. I'll be honest, guys, this thing, I am so fucking blessed to be in the position that I am. I've been able to do this full time talking to my community because that's genuinely all I've ever given a shit about. I tell you guys my opinions on games, and for some reason, man, it always seems to get me in hot water. This is just some shitty developer who has a bone to pick with me because I covered his game 2 years ago. And honestly, from the looks of it, nothing really is happening with the game and nobody really cares. That's not my problem. But what I find is there's a lot of people who disagree with my opinions, and that's cool. It is what it is. I never come at any of these projects from a hateful standpoint. I've never gone into a video going, man, I hope this game fucking fails and sucks. I always want everybody to win. The one thing that I don't think I can ever get across to people is how badly I want all of these games to win. When I cover a game like Direct Contact, where the developer is having meltdowns in Discord and they're freaking out and they're doing all, I hate that. Yes, it makes for good content. Yeah, of course. But I would much rather just have a really good game to play. When I cover a game like Xfill, I would much rather just have a good game to play. And truthfully, when it comes to Xfill, it's not a good game, and it's fine. I made my videos a year and a half ago. And that was it. I think I tweeted a couple times about it around the launch, and that is it. I'm just over here in my own little corner of the internet talking to my fans about video games. I don't hate anybody in the space. Well, maybe there's one. When you look at this game here, this is Project Z Beyond Order. I covered 314 Arts' very first title. They were actually one of my first early access games ever on the channel. It was a game called Police Infinity. These guys made a really bad game that I covered. Then they tried to change the name of it to try to hide from the reviews. And then eventually they reached out and they said, hey, we get it. We fucked up. And now they're here. They're building Project Z. It's a game that I think has a shit ton of wish list numbers. Maximum Entertainment, they got a publisher. They're building this game out to be something bigger, and you could tell that they've taken all of the lessons that they've learned through the years and they've built better. And this is a success story to me. These guys took the lessons that they learned from being an early dev, and they just applied those lessons learned and made something better. I'm not out here trying to destroy studios. It's the exact opposite. I'm out here trying to point out potential issues that then in the future you can maybe make better. Like, that's what we're literally doing with Transients right now. We took all of your guys' feedback and we're starting the pre-production on a new project that now we understand more about the process of development. If you like the games that I don't, that's cool. I just don't get why there's so much vitriol around somebody giving their opinions in a video online as if you're supposed to look at me as some sort of influential source. Guys, I don't give a fuck about being an influencer. I like the YouTube sphere. Yes, I like making videos that people watch and get clicks. Cool. Great, because I've always been a real motherfucker. You know, like, I've always just been true to myself and my opinions, and I hold true to them. And if I'm wrong, I eat crow, I make update videos. I just did it the other, like a month ago with Incursion. Incursion, I thought, was a terrible game at launch. Those guys literally ate shit. They built the game out and now they're killing it. And that's awesome. That is what you want. If the entire ecosystem of indie development hinges on one video talking bad about a video game enough to kill a game or kill a studio or whatever, I don't subscribe to that notion. And I think if you do, you're looking for an excuse. Straight up. And these are feelings that I've had for a long time, and this was literally the catalyst. I woke up, I saw these messages, and I went, you know what? Fuck this bullshit, dude. These people are delusional as fuck, and we're gonna talk about it. I wanna know your guys' thoughts down below. Have you played fucking Xfill? Have you tried Transients? Have you played any other game? What are you playing? Let's just have a conversation down below. I appreciate the fuck out of my community. You guys have been ride or dies for so many years. I appreciate you guys watching, man. You guys are legitimately the Fry Nation. There's a lot of shooters coming out this year that I'm very, very excited about. There's probably going to be a lot of shooters coming out like this game that are going to be subpar, mediocre trash. We're going to talk about those too. And if you're mad about it, too bad. My name is Big Fry. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe for everything FPS. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the real. And I'll see you on the next one.